nobody ever comes forward, and nobody in the federal government ever bothers to look for the baby oil.
Hey, no Diddy, man. No Diddy.
All right, now shout out to my boy Lawyer for Workers. Y'all know he was very helpful to this channel during the Tory and Megan trial. Well, he has some very interesting things to say about this Diddy indictment. And he basically said Diddy could have avoided this whole situation. I need y'all to check this out. I'll leave a link to his page in the description. Let's check this out.
And I'm going to tell you the craziest thing about Diddy being locked up right now, facing mandatory minimums, the possibility of life in federal prison. Go read the transcript from the bond hearing and listen to what the defense says they believe is the start of the feds looking into P. Diddy. See, the defense says, my read of it, many months ago, a woman approaches Diddy and says, hey, this is through lawyers, we're going to be releasing a tell-all book about this woman's experience with Diddy over all the years, and it's going to make you look like a monster, and if you don't want that book to get out there, you can buy the exclusive rights to it for $30 million. Catch and kill this book. Diddy's team says no. Woman comes back with a lawyer. We're going to file a civil lawsuit against you because it's not just stuff that makes for good print. These are civil claims that we can bring and we can win millions of dollars. Diddy's team says, okay, bring the lawsuit. They bring the lawsuit, and within like hours, it's settled for, surprise, surprise, $30 million. After those things happened, a line of people came with stories to get their check too. Hey, if she got 30 mil, what can I get off this guy? I was there, I saw this, I heard that. And that then led to a federal investigation. See, people think, oh, somebody's out to get him. He pissed off the wrong person. It's the alcohol company that, nah. You guys got to understand that there's prosecutors out there who want big, sexy cases. They don't fall out of the sky every day. The chance to go after somebody like P. Diddy and put him away for life is like the greatest case you could ever find if you're a prosecutor. And so when a public filing gets released and you read it and you go, wait a second, that law firm is mad thorough. Wait a second, he settled it for 30 million. Wait a second. If all of this is true, then I could probably get some subpoenas. I could probably collect some evidence. I could probably build a case. They start doing it. They raid. A couple months later, they indict. It is very possible that had P. Diddy immediately caught and killed the story by paying the $30 million that he paid eventually anyway, that story never gets public. Nobody ever comes forward, and nobody in the federal government ever bothers to look for the baby oil. And I'm gonna
Not the baby oil. Now look, we've been saying this for years, that celebrities have this bad habit of self-snitching. In this case, Diddy's self-snitching was a little more complicated because essentially he felt like he was too big to be touched. He felt like he was untouchable. Pause. No baby oil, okay? Oh yeah, y'all got a book y'all putting out? Give a fuck about that book. Bring it. I'm Diddy. I got the best lawyers. Do whatever you want to do. We gonna put it in a book. I don't give a fuck what you doing. I'm Diddy. I'm bigger than the program. This is where the self-snitching comes in because you gave him a bone. He paid who, 30 million? That's not a calling card for everybody who want to get some money. That's a calling card to every cop, every federal agent who looking to get into the good graces of his boss. Think about the feds. Myron Gaines said this. The feds already had a few public fumbles. Donald Trump not in jail. He running for president. It's been a few times where funding could be at risk because when they spend all this money on a case and they go after a Donald Trump and it don't go through, then people start to cut costs. Why should I give y'all all of this government money, all of these government funds, and y'all falling through on cases? Y'all got a high, conviction rate, but if they lose one case, that could be millions of dollars of funding because you don't know what they spent to even go after that case, right? So when funding gets cut off, that's bonuses, that's money, that's paychecks, that's yearly wages. They don't want that. Okay? So yeah, Diddy is on the chopping block. What could happen if I tell my boss, hey, we could get Diddy? I'm sure if you go in any special forces, services, the federal government, if you just mention his name, everybody be like, Diddy? Diddy is like gold to them. It's a few names that they probably trying to get Diddy to snitch on, that they just salivating at the mouth if they can get those dudes. Jay-Z, Oprah, Bill Cosby. Can we figure out a way to get Russell Simmons back in the States? See, it's a difference between a rapper and a Diddy. See, for a Diddy, you start pulling out the big guns. For Young Thug, you might be all right, we'll get some wiretaps. We'll put a car on some people. We'll follow some people. For Diddy, you getting subpoenas, you going to judges, you getting money out, you getting squads and teams, you getting a bulletin board, you X's and O's and figuring out everybody he know, who he talked to. Who knows how much they spent on the investigation of Diddy? This obviously has been a case that's been years in the making. And they said they spent years looking into Young Thug, but I guarantee in this short amount of time since that civil suit with Cassie, more resources have been used to go after Diddy with this case than were probably used in all of the years that they were looking into YSL. You gotta think about that. You gotta think about that. So when he didn't pay Cassie that initial $30 million that he ended up paying regardless, he let out a bat signal to everybody. To the scammers, the feds, the other women he might have had dealings with. He opened Pandora's box. And now he's paying for it. Shout out to Lawyer for Workers, man. Great content. Gotta leave y'all with one more of these.
Hey, no Diddy, man. No Diddy.
We out.
It is very possible that had P. Diddy immediately caught and killed the story by paying the $30 million that he paid eventually anyway, that story never gets public, nobody ever comes forward, and nobody in the federal government ever bothers to look for the baby oil.